Good afternoon, my esteemed colleagues. My name is Eden Jideka Angela. I'm an assistant lecturer at the Enugu State College of Nursing Sciences in Enugu, Nigeria. Today, I wish to present a lecture titled The Content of Chapter 1 of the Nursing Research Project, an introductory lecture in research for undergraduate nursing students, the Enugu State College of Nursing Sciences in Enugu, Nigeria. Over time, it has been anecdotally observed that a lack of knowledge among nursing students about the content of the research project have been found to delay project writing and prolong the duration of supervision among their mentors. Writing a research project is an unavoidable assignment for all undergraduate nursing students, which they often meet and conclude as a partial fulfillment of the requirements for their graduation from the nursing institutions. A research study is defined by the National Cancer Institute as a scientific study of nature that sometimes involves processes involved in health and diseases. Okay, we shall be looking at the following contents: general principles, writing styles, study background, problem statement, study purpose, study objectives, research questions, research hypothesis, study significance, study scope, and operational definition of terms. When writing your chapter 1, source information as a general principle from textbooks, reputable journals, databases, government or educational websites, unpublished project works. Avoid blogs, social media websites like Facebook, Wikipedia, Instagram, predatory journals, expired literature. Adhere to your school's writing specifications. Double line spacing, time New Romans, font 12, upper style of heading, referencing both in in-text and end citation. Avoid typos, excessive jargon, unexplained abbreviation, and grammatical errors. Write in continuous prose form. Avoid plagiarism, paraphrase your work. Cite the necessary author and use softwares for paraphrasing and plagiarism checks. Work with a supervisor. In the writing style, use upper style of referencing for in-text citation. Use the most current edition of upper style to reference textbooks, journals, websites, diagrams, and all copyrighted materials. Avoid plagiarism. Paraphrase your work. Cite the initial author, but do not say what he didn't say. Use softwares or software for plagiarism and paraphrasing the work, as the case may be. In this section, I shall be talking of upper style intercitation and intercitation for tables and figures. For instance, as a basic format, you can say author, comma, yay. This is the standard format for paraphrased or supervised or summarized information. Example, Smith, comma, 2023, all in a bracket. Then in intercitation for tables and figures, in upper style, intercitations for tables and figures are included in the notes below the visual. If adapted or adopted or reprinted from another source, include reprinted with permission or adapted with permission. Okay? Yes. So We are also going to talk about proper and improper paraphrasing. Proper paraphrasing entails reading a work of literature, creating meaning, and using your own word to paraphrase the work, then crediting the author. Okay, but when you do improper citation, you just borrow the work the way it is, or you change a few things with the synonym of the words, or that you didn't even acknowledge the initial author. You just paraphrased it very well so that the software will not detect it, but you didn't acknowledge the initial author. Okay, we are going to look at the background of the study. We are going to refer to this topic, level of awareness of glaucoma among artisans in the Afia market of Udi local government. A student nurse, AU, working in a health center close to Afia market, found out that majority of those village workers and artisans are illiterates, and they have high rate of glaucoma among them. So she wanted to carry out a research and find the extent at which these artisans know about glaucoma, because it is rasking a lot of problem among their population. So in the study background, we are trying to tell us initially about the topic. You should maintain 2 to 2.5 pages of a quarter-size paper. A paragraph should contain a minimum of 2 sentences, but should not exceed half of the page of the work you're writing. Let your flow of thought be coherent. Each paragraph should cover a particular thought. Write in continuous prose form. Okay? Then don't be tempted to bring in your empirical review content that you smell for your chapter 2. Just tell us what you know about the major content. Then you divide your work into first paragraph, second paragraph. In the first paragraph, you introduce the major concept and the research gap. In the second paragraph, you define the major concept. Tell us about it. Subsequent paragraphs, you introduce your objectives with each having the paragraph. Then the last paragraph is the concluding paragraph. Then you have the statement of the problem. This is the problem that your research aims to address. In this our topic, it entails the problem discovered in the research study. For instance, glaucoma is a leading cause of blindness in Nigeria and a silent thief of sight. It is often asymptomatic until the late stages. There are a high rate of illiteracy among the locals of the local government, and it affects the utilization of healthcare services, according to Ade et al. 2024. So, just like we have hike in fuel price, so their own is illiteracy. Hence, the study aims to bring awareness of glaucoma using their common language by involving interpreters. This will help improve healthcare services and early detection. Okay, we are going to look at the study purpose, objectives, and questions. The study purpose is the main aim of the study. For instance, this study aims to identify the level of awareness among artisans in the Ofia market in the Uli local government area about glaucoma. Then your study objectives should be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Your research question is your objective placed in question form. Okay, your research hypotheses. These are included in the study. They must be tested via statistical methods in Chapter 4. For instance, one of the hypotheses is that there is no significant relationship between the gender of the artisans and their level of awareness towards glaucoma. Another one could be that there is no significant difference between the age of the artisans and their level of awareness towards glaucoma. In stating the study significance, he tries to show who will benefit from the study, how and what and by what means and how they will benefit from the study. Benefits are often realized when the research work is in the school's library for other students' consultation, or when the work is published in journals so other health work and significant others can see how they will get involved to reduce the incidence of glaucoma. The findings of the study will reveal the level of awareness of the artisans towards glaucoma and its causes and symptoms. This would show how the nurse can lay emphasis and when to lay emphasis in educating the patients so that they will do away with superstitious beliefs if there are any and lead to utilization of healthcare services which will promote early detection. Okay, the scope of the study. The study is limited to artisans working in Oji Market, Adu, the local government in Enugu State, and the assessment of their awareness towards glaucoma is also limited to the level of awareness of symptoms, causes, predisposing factors, treatment options, and preventive strategies of glaucoma among the artisans. In operational definition of terms, you try to operationalize terms and give them, you try to measure them. It's different from literary definition. For instance, if you want to define the level of awareness of glaucoma and its symptoms, it can be said that it is the ability of the artisans to state correctly in the questionnaire what they know about the glaucoma and its symptoms. 0 to 39%, low level of awareness, 40 to 69%, moderate level of awareness, and 70 to 100%, high level of awareness. You mustn't have tables like saying 60 or 70 to 100. In defining something like perception, you can say it is the viewpoint of the students about breastfeeding, which shows the extent at which they support breastfeeding. So that when you come to your Likert scale in chapter 4, you can say strongly agreed to disagree, something like that. Okay, we are able to talk within a short while how or nine key areas in the chapter 1 of the project. One of them is the is the problem statement and study significance. Thank you for lending me your ears during this section. I'm looking for your questions or towards your questions to this critical aspect of nursing research.